gonna mess this show up today? Oh, I've never sung before.
I'm just gonna let you roll. Hey, how you doing, Mitch and Mike listeners? Welcome back. We got a great guest today. His name is Tim Heller. Why don't you say hello to our people, Tim?
Hello to our people.
There we go, Tim.
That's how we are going
to your
talk
people
for the rest of the podcast.
Yeah, see? It's a lovely podcast. It's a throwback show, see?
Oh, we're going back to the 20s now, see? Okay, yeah. All right, well, hey. We just stalled that right out. Nice. Tim, thanks for coming on. We were just talking beforehand, and I just found out that Tim and I were actually in the same room together once, because he was at One Voice Dallas in 2024, and so was I. And I happened down to the Mario Kart tournament and did a little announcing and had a little fun and did a little socializing. And Tim just said, yeah, I ran that. And I'm like, whoa. So it's going to run it again.
Did you have that luscious hair back
I think it was a little bit shorter. It was shorter. There's always a point in Texas summer that I hit that I'm like, all right, it's got to go. But I think, honestly, this year I'm kind of determined to keep it.
Really? You're not going to go like mullet? You're not going to get a mustache and a mullet?
Dude,
like everybody else?
I mean, well, two issues there. I can't grow a mustache that you can see. And B, my hairline's kind of creeping back, so I feel like the mullet would just be like forehead and a ponytail. And so,
well, yeah, at least you don't have, I wear a hat because I have the monkey's butt going on in the back. So I do have the hair.
Hey!
But which is also longer than it was last year, because I had cut mine off last year just a couple weeks before the thing, and yeah, funny story. There was a little lice outbreak in and amongst my house. So my son and my daughter-in-law were living with us, and they worked in a children's ministry, and somehow my daughter-in-law got lice. And I'm like, I'm not messing with that.
And you came to my house.
That was months before, dude.
You kissed me goodnight, Mike.
Kissed me goodnight. Our beard
spooned.
Beard lice. I'll never have to worry about that either.
No, lucky you.
Yeah,
a hairless babe.
Yeah,
I'm just aerodynamic. I guess I'm supposed to race in another lifetime.
What a great
that's okay.
intro.
We love you and your baby face already.
Thank you. Thank you.
So, Tim, as we do, we like to find out more about you. So, what can you tell us about Tim Heller and his experience in the voiceover world?
Maybe from the beginning.
Maybe from the beginning, or maybe
very, very beginning.
Go like do Tarantino and go like non-linear. Just start in the middle.
Honestly, that's
and then
my
go back
brand
to
of
the
ADHD. I might call that. I call them didos because my wife calls them didos. She's like, "Oh, Tim, come back! You just went down a dido. You got to get back on the main trail." I may just call them my nonlinear plot lines. So I'm here now, and then I was born. My background is in theater, musical theater, and a little bit of on-camera stuff. My voiceover journey has kind of started because of losing that side of my career. I've had a lot of back issues, and like my freshman year of college, I started having lower back pain and shooting pain down my leg. That turned into like not being able to walk some mornings, or my legs buckling in a dance class, or I'd sneeze at the gym and just like waddle home in shame. But I was young and dumb, and so I just kept kind of pushing through it until I couldn't anymore and had a surgery to remove the herniated disc tissue. 2018 in New York, had the same thing, had the same procedure again, and in between that time, that 5 years was still pain pretty much most days. 2018, doctors were like, all right, no more dance, no more theater work, you got to get off your feet, and otherwise it's just going to get worse. They diagnosed me with early degenerative disc disease.
Oh, no.
And I was 26, about to turn 27, and just was like, oh, fuck, like, what do I do? This is like what I've been wanting to do all life. The plan was, audition till you get on Broadway, do Broadway, move to TV and film, kick it, right? Because that's a really well fleshed out plan at 18.
Yeah, it could work.
We all had it.
Everybody does that. So.
So I luckily, like a couple months before, had just taken a 5-week a course with Andy Roth in New York City at One-on-One to just like get a broad overview of VO and all the different genres and get on the mic. And a lot of my friends and some castmates from a show that we had gotten back from were like, dude, you should really look into this because you do a lot of really dumb, annoying voices and you sing in character and impressions. Just give it a shot, see what you think. And so I went to my first class, and it was just the intro and commercial session, and I bought in 1,000%. I was like, oh shit, this is the gig, because I don't have to memorize anything. I found myself using a lot more of like my random skill set of voices and singing and character work and even physicalization stuff that compared to the theater work that I was going in for. So I was really, really excited about it. And I took the class over the course of the 5 weeks, loved it. And then afterwards I had started to kind of audition on like a Blue Raspberry. I don't think they make them anymore, but from the Blue Microphone Company, they made a Raspberry. Actually,
He's
got
going to
it.
show us. Those of you
Show and
listening,
tell.
this will mean nothing to you. Those of you watching, this
We
should
will
be
describe it in great
interesting.
detail.
He literally
to you.
got up
Or
and
you can
left
look it up.
so he could show it to us.
I have this on a shelf in my office, so I can remember to humble
that's
myself.
cute.
But yeah, it's just a little USB mic, and I used a Beats headphone case and stuffed it with like gym towels, and then put a blanket over my head, and that was my first like TV and radio commercial that I did. But
Oh my gosh.
after that March of 2018, I really started to look at, all right, what do I need to do to do this as my job, and started auditioning a lot more on pay-to-play sites. Booked enough work to get a real microphone and kind of convert our 3x3 hallway closet in Astoria, Queens into a studio. And I was really lucky and got signed with some agents right away in the city. And again, lucky again to kind of book some stuff. And going into COVID, was able to still really, I was about to quit, or not quit, but pare back my day job. I was like a base level manager at Lululemon in Soho. Shout out to the Soho team. They were the best. Absolutely.
Shout out.
legendary.
They're listening.
Yes. So then when COVID hit, stayed on with Lulu, but then voiceover was still cranking and actually increased. And I learned how to market myself really poorly, but just well enough to bag a couple of new clients. And we decided we wanted to move back down to Austin, Texas, with the plan of moving out to LA because I was doing more and more animation stuff. And then we saw how much of LA was moving here and that we could afford a house. And my wife had been very impatiently waiting until we hit some financial goals I had set for us to get a dog. So she was like, hey, we can get a dog if we stay. I was like, yeah.
See that red line?
Can't fight that.
We got it. It's dog
The numbers
time.
are red. They need to be black for us to get a dog. Okay.
Is that what you named
Yeah,
your dog?
no.
Red line?
Yeah. Oh, no. I know I live in Texas, but no. But yeah, so we've really enjoyed Austin, and I don't know. I feel grateful for everything that voiceover has done. I feel like I would not have unlocked kind of a more entrepreneurial mindset with work had I not been kind of thrust into a lot of this. So I'm really grateful for it because it's opened up a lot of really interesting and exciting doors. And my company, Tim Heller Creative, is, primarily voiceover, but quickly becoming more audiobook production and casting heavy. And we're scaling that out, which is really exciting and fun. And then I also do some consulting work on the side as well. So help with like social media management, some content creation stuff. So it's definitely never a dull moment. And sometimes I'm just looking for like a moment to not be thinking about
I definitely hear
going
you
on.
there. Yeah, I feel like we glossed over this part where you say you got lucky to get this first job now, or these first few jobs. Something clicked, seems like immediately. I mean, maybe you just said it fast, but you were getting work almost as soon as you bought a cute little mic
Yeah,
and had a towel.
What's the deal
It
with
was no, honestly, I think it's.
that? Come on, tell
I'm
all
a
of us that are
Taurus.
still
I'm a
struggling.
Taurus, so I'm really
How's that
stubborn,
work?
and I also was. I was honestly just using it as, and there's a lot of competing thoughts around like how you should start and how you should approach everything and on pay to plays and all that, and especially now because it's so different. But I didn't really know that there was a lot of community in VO. I didn't realize the community that was out there, and so I was just kind of hoofing it by myself and just trying to figure things out, asking the new agents out, asking anybody who knew anything about it that I knew how to book work, and then voices.com, and I just was doing a ton of auditions. When I wasn't at the store, I was auditioning. And I also, like, I'm not like a mimic to the point of being able to like do a perfect like read right back to somebody, but I grew up singing and playing instruments, and so that musicality I think kind of allowed me to hear what I heard on TV and play it back. And I also was just playing a little bit too. I would read the specs and be like, my first spot was for a funeral home, and I love it because it was, I listened back to it, and it is kind of cringe, but it's like, oh wait, no, I almost did a really dumb video. I did a voice I did for a video making fun of Ted Cruz when he left Texas during the snowpocalypse. But it's a very similar one. But it's just like, it had to be very comforting. Hello, your loved ones are safe with us. We'll package them up very nicely, or whatever it was. Not package them up.
Wow.
But
yeah, we'll smush their bodies.
We'll freeze dry them for you so you can break them out later.
Yeah. Enjoy Grandma for generations to come.
Yeah.
Wow, you are good at that.
Yeah. But it was a lot of, I mean, it was pretty cringy, like mimicking and just playing around. But I will say that I was really determined, because I was pretty freaked out in that time of like, I don't know what I'm going to do. I don't know what's happening in my body. Like, is this just going to keep happening? We live in New York, walking everywhere, taking the train, and I still was, I don't know, stubborn about it, but...
Are we talking about the back issue still, or puberty?
Both. I'm still waiting on the back end of puberty, as you can see.
Damn, dude, we're back to that. Holy crap, Mike. Just no.
It's just going to be like, let's bury this guy.
Yeah, let's fuck this guy. That's why we brought you here, Tim.
Yeah.
Please stay on.
Yeah.
Need somebody to make fun of, because I'm tired of making fun of Mitch.
Yeah, I'm too easy.
Mitch has cried too many times on this show now. We need a new target.
I try not to do it on air, but...
Yeah, it's usually
It's
afterwards he
sweat.
breaks down once we say bye now. Oh, he's got the
Damn,
baby mimic
dude.
going
Yeah.
too. Nice.
So, yeah, a true impressionist.
Yeah.
Has that helped you a lot?
Just doing impressions in general, or...
Yeah. In this.
Honestly, kind of. Yeah, I think this is a rare... I am not a rare occurrence, but I feel like this is where I feel like luck comes into play, right? Like, because everybody does a voice of somebody, and so the only places where I've really seen it help out are like on spoof work or like satire work for cartoons, like independent cartoons and animation work that are spoofing political figures and whatnot, or
Right.
A lot of, honestly, like commercial demo work. So it's like when the agencies are putting together their pitch decks and they have the whole concept, and we go in and we record the demo of the commercial. I voice doubled Michael J. Fox and Ryan Gosling. All the PayPal commercials that are Will Ferrell running around going, "I want to pay with you everywhere." I think Hunter Peterson, voice doubled or did the scratch for Will Ferrell, and then I did the stuff for if Ryan Gosling was going to do it. But
That's
it's
crazy.
fun. I don't know. It just is like, I love thinking about how people are making sounds and how animals make sounds, and it's I don't know. It's just fun to play around, and I have my own little way of thinking about how I categorize voices or come up with characters, or if, like, especially for video game sessions, it's for most games, and especially in the AAA world too, it's like they don't tell you anything except for the character that you booked, and sometimes not even that. And so I'd say 98% of the sessions I've had this year for video games have been, you booked this game, great, what am I doing? we can't tell you yet. And then you get there, and it's like, we have 8 characters for you across 4 different, fantasy races, and no artwork. So,
good luck.
let's go. And then,
Let's go.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
making, impressions and character voices and improv will save your life in those
hell
situations.
yeah.
A lot of good tools for people in our industry. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, improv is like another through line. If someone brings that up, it's like, yep.
Yeah.
That's-
Yeah. Some
Just
people
being
are more
able to
comfortable
pivot.
with it than others, but everyone pretty much acknowledges that, you've got to be good at improv.
Yeah, and I feel like a broken record that I say this a lot, but it helps in so many different areas of your life too. Like, we moved around a lot when I was a little kid, and so like I'd get bullied in new schools or whatever, and I was also not helping myself because I would in middle school I would Liberty spike my hair because I wanted to be like Joel from Good Charlotte, and then I would dress like a normal middle schooler and be like, and then people would be an asshole to me, and I'd be like, all right, whatever, man. But it helps you kind of cope and pivot and swerve some, potentially dicey situations.
Yeah, that's smart. Man, I was a bit stubborn back then, huh? I just let myself get bullied, but hey, we figure it out.
So what? You're in Texas now. Texas, especially Dallas, is a big. Crunchyroll's up here. I know there's some other studios in Austin. Do you do anime as well as regular animation?
I have not done any anime yet. It was something that when I moved down here, I was very aware of it being in Dallas and Crunchyroll before. I think they bought Funimation, right? Or Funimation bought Crunchyroll. I don't know, something. It was before they had like really merged, and so I was like, all right, great. One studio is kind of Houstonish area. Dallas has everything else. This could be interesting. And then a lot of it at that time was still in studio, and they weren't doing a lot of remote dubbing for anime because using voice cue remotely is really difficult because even like a tenth of a second of lag can really cause like a lot of extra work for them on the back end. So, but it's always something I'm open to. I audition for stuff that comes through from New York AV Post and anything I get from my agents. I think it's fun. I enjoy the genre. I enjoy consuming it. I'm not a huge anime person just simply because I watch so many things. It's like a
So
really
much to
kind
watch.
of annoying array, but I'm really using the tax deductions of Netflix and HBO and Apple TV and Paramount to study.
Yeah. Right. Crunchyroll just adds another one there.
There you go.
Yeah.
Just
Do you guys do
subscribe to
any
everything.
anime?
No, not yet. Not yet. No.
Not
I know.
yet.
Mitch, didn't you do? I mean, not anime, but you did some dubbing recently.
Yes, I've dubbed on
Oh, sweet.
Timmy Animations from Hornstromp. They're making these. One of my friends, Carrie, she is Timmy Taylor, a kid who just keeps dying. So I got to be some side characters there, including. I don't know if I can tell anyone. Dang it! These get put out so infrequently that I'm like, I can't tell anyone the damn character. No one cares. But it's an animal and a demon, and
a demon-animal.
it was pretty fun. But dubbing for me by myself in my own home with their video is so difficult. I can't imagine anyone enjoying it. I feel like I'm doing it the hardest way possible. And I'm like,
Oh,
wait,
dude.
people like this?
It's
so hard.
We gotta connect offline because I guess no, the question was anime, right? So I didn't lie. It was I've done a lot of dubbing work for animation, and so it's international cartoons that need an English cast, and then some shows that are original animation to us.
Sure.
But during COVID, I was doing that every day. I got lucky and marketed myself to this studio in New York, and they did a lot. And they were like, hey, I didn't have any animation samples, or it was all really awful demos that you can go see on my voices.com page still, of like sonnets, Shakespeare sonnets done 3 different ways in a bunch of different accents, voices, and then intonations, I think I called it.
Good.
So, I put together a little scratch demo reel of, I wrote down all the different character voices or people I make up in my head, and then a bunch of different places, and I just like paired them up in different places and then improvised for like an hour and just like went down the list and played and tried to create scenes. And they took that and then sent me a bunch of work, and I was doing like either voice match work for main characters or ADR work that was coming in and filling out ancillary characters. And I really cut my teeth on like that kind of grunt work of like just cranking. And so I figured out a system on my own of when they'd send me the video file, I'd drop it in Logic and then go in and match the waveform while looking at the script and the video and the flap it all at the same time. And it's... But I feel confident that I might be able to help in that situation for you, Mitch.
Yeah, that sounds
that sounds like a brain buster.
You make it sound, even harder than I'm making it. Like that's,
well, it is. I messed it up.
Maybe I won't make it easier for you.
No, it probably will be, but I haven't broken it down in that way.
You're
maybe
like,
because
Tim,
there's
that's
not
a hard pass for me. I'm good.
Well, I want to learn things for sure. Logic sounds like a program I would love to use. I'm sure someone's told me about it too. Man, daunting to say the least. That sounds so daunting, but you made it fun because you did the thing to even get there, and they gave you a lot to do, so you had to learn it on the fly. You had to get better at it immediately. And I'm getting 2 characters every 3 months. I have no rhythm coming through.
Well, the rhythm is ever changing with work. Mm-hmm. It's it feels more like a fire hose than a drum beat. I feel like especially animation, because it can be feast and famine. The industry is changing a lot. I know I've already said that, but it's like, I don't know. The money is shifting. The way people are creating is shifting, but. Yeah, here we are.
Well, it sounds like, though, I mean, as far as the dubbing and everything else, I mean, everything else you've talked about is, you sound like the type of guy that you're like, okay, this is a thing that I need to do or that I need to explore or whatever, and then you do the work to figure it out, and you'll put in the hours that it takes to either create that demo reel of yourself talking to yourself, or doing the looping and the the dubbing and everything, and figuring out how you can do that. That's amazing. That's a talent that I don't have. That's I want to get in, I want to get a script, I want to read it, I want to edit it, and I want to send it in. But to do like more work to figure that out, how to do better, that's where I lack. And that's so just props to you for having that kind of drive to get better at it, and that's probably why you're more successful than me. I'll just
think it. No, jeez, no.
Oh,
it's.
boy.
I mean, because I'm obviously more talented than you, so it must be
Must be your drive.
It's definitely
the
not
drive.
the skill difference. It's Tim. I went to your website and yikes.
I heard your voices, profile. Yeah,
but it's you're like, we're putting a disclaimer at the top
you
of this
got
episode.
jobs from this.
Tim actually can't do any voices. We let him believe this, and we fed his ego for an hour and a half. Enjoy this episode. No, I think honestly that thank you for all the kind words that you said, Mike. I appreciate it. It's less of a skill and I think more of an accident or like luck and to bring up luck again. And looking back at moments in high school or when I was a little kid trying to figure out how to make videos with my dad's camcorder or going out making dumb sketches with my friends and editing them together before it was very easy at all to do it. My ADHD, I think, hyper-focuses in that way. And I'm finally now at 33 figuring out how to like tap into it more on cue, I guess. I'm becoming more organized in my life and my business because I have to be or else there would be no business. So it's kind of forcing me into this to again learn new things, but it's also because I'm like this is what I have, and I've thought about doing other things. I've tried doing other things for a career, and it just is like, that's not going to happen. I have to have something I have to have creativity as my like kind of baseline. And so I think in those moments I'm like, okay, great. This is something I really enjoy. I'm excited. I'm just going to take a breath and we're going to just figure this out. And sometimes it takes a couple hours and sometimes it takes a couple days for me to really get into a rhythm that I don't hate. But yeah, I highly recommend anybody, even if you haven't been diagnosed with ADHD, just willing yourself into an ADHD hyperfocus tizzy. Doing something productive or fun.
I'm probably ADHD adjacent, but when I get hyperfocused, it's on all the wrong things. I wish I could get
to chalk it up to
on
luck.
Things that would further my career.
Yeah, and I think Tim made it fun. Tim needs creativity in his life. We all have that thing that pulls our focus. So yeah, I can focus on my phone for like hours at a time. It's
Same.
not like doing anything for me.
It's not. I'm not batting 1,000 with my ADHD by any stretch of the imagination.
Yeah, but all you got to do is bat 300 and you're an all-star. So
yeah,
that's
true.
true.
That's a
true.
great point, Mike.
That's a great analogy.
I'm gonna get a jersey made with my company logo on it.
There you go.
And just say
Batting
all-star.
3.
The number is 0.3.
Yeah, batting 300, all-star.
On ADHD. So I guess that kind of does lead me pretty well into my question I had lined up. You do kind of do all these different things, and when I first heard about you, I saw you on social media, and there was so much coming out of LinkedIn. I was like, damn, who the hell is this guy, and how did he all of a sudden end up on my feed? You were hilarious right away.
This.
I was super pumped because you're like a young dude, you're getting it, and it sucks that like you're cute and funny too. Like fuck, you're like how many?
You got a crush on him, Mitch?
A little. Shut up. Just shut up. Okay?
Shut up, man. We're both from the Midwest. It's guy love between two guys.
Scrubs is my jam. But anyway,
I'm so glad. But then I saw you doing this thing over here, and then we talked recently, and now you're talking about Tim Heller Creative, and I don't remember when you started that, but you do have all these things that, how do you decide which one needs to grow, which one needs your nurturing, and which one you can leave for a second?
That's a really, really excellent question. I've learned a lot, especially in the past 2 years around that specifically. And it's not necessarily like a method I have yet. I'm really trying to get it written down because I feel like once I can write it down, running the businesses will be a lot easier. But it's really like, it sounds so dumb. It's luck and opportunity and saying yes. It's all of the random things that I've been passionate about kind of coming into one. And I do really credit that to having to pivot out of the career path that I thought I was going to have, because I was so singularly focused on what this path was going to be, because I was like, I'm going to work my ass off to be a good dancer, coming from sports and everything. I'm going to work my butt off to, sing. And I love acting. Acting is where I feel peace and harmony in my nervous system. Mm-hmm. And, but I also love all these other things like comedy or humor in general. I'm not a sketch comedy writer or anything, any stretch of that imagination, but I love to make people laugh. I like to do things that people normally wouldn't do, or go about it in a different way, and maybe sometimes break the rules before I learn all of them sometimes. But in a measured way. And so with all the different things that have come up, it's more about saying yes in the moment, and sometimes too early, and realizing I'm in way over my head and just having to figure it out because people were paying me a lot of money to figure it out. But it was also something that I had to learn, that I had to learn to trust myself a lot, and learn to trust my taste, and learn to trust just being in process of me as a human, of whatever creative brief I'm working on, of whatever project is going on. that, especially in the last like month or two, has kind of settled into this like confidence of like, great, I know what I want, I know what I don't want, and I can kind of move forward with this, and I feel more settled in myself, where before I felt like trying to make everybody happy. I gotta tiptoe around things. My emails were, hey, if you don't mind, just when like maybe on lunch break in like a month or two, when you have 2 minutes, if you could listen to my demo, I'm so sorry. It's shit. I shouldn't have sent this email. Bye.
It's actually a voicemail.
I've sent. That was. I was pitching myself to new agents in New York, and this is like a year or two in, and the first 1 month I was like, I'm going to just apply to the top agencies that I want to go to. Sent them all out, heard nothing, of course. It was that kind of an email. Second email was like, fuck it. I literally have nothing to lose. They have no idea who I am. I'm in a completely new world.
Yep.
I'm going to try again and pretend I'm confident. And went in and said, hey, I'm Tim. I'm this kind of voice actor. Here's some of my recent work. Bam, bam, bam. Bullet points to links. You got it. If you want to make a lot of money and help foster a young career, let's party. If you don't, that's okay too. Thank you for your time. And then 30 minutes after I sent that, I got a note back from Innovative, and I went in and signed with them. But
even your voice from, hey, like, could you even and to Tim Heller, who sends that false email that you just wrote.
Yeah.
No, you sound tough. Like, boom, this is my shit. Like you.
Wow, I think you're the first person ever to say that I sound tough, and I take that. I'm gonna.
It was. I literally
compared
it was
to
the
Mitch.
Slap your dick out on the on the table moment. Like, boom.
But
I am Guy. You hire me now.
Yes.
You hire. I do good work.
I am painfully average in every metric. Hire me. But yeah, so I guess there's the bad side of ADHD. It's a long way to get to where we need to go, but it's about saying yes and figuring it out, and then going back and evaluating and figuring out, did I actually like this? Would I do this again? If I liked doing half of these things, who do I know that could do the other half really well? And figuring out how to outsource and ask for help is a huge thing. I was listening to some business podcast and for creatives, and it was talking about just like when you get. Let me back it up. It was a guy on Instagram, Jamie Brindle, and he runs a creative agency, I think out of California somewhere. He was making these incredible videos where he was talking to himself as he was role-playing as the agency owner and a client, or a brand new freelancer and a veteran agency owner, or whatever it was, and playing out these scenarios of like, well, this guy's come back for work, but I just signed on with a new client. I don't know if I can do this job. And he's like, well, what if who else do you know that you have any friends that do what you do? And he's like, well, yeah. Well, why don't you, pay them 90% of it and let them be up front and just say like, hey, I have this other gig, I need this done, and I'm going to take a 10% cut because it's my client and I found the gig, but if you want to do this, it's yours. And so taking that mindset of asking for help and thinking about like, oh, what happens when volume gets to a point where I'm not functioning at my best, or I am brought into a project where I can't do everything that they're asking me to do the way that I'd want it done. And so like I brought my brother into some copywriting stuff, and he's just a genius wordsmith. And then hiring my assistant Sam last year when I was going through some weird back pain flare up was a real that was a game changer, and learning how to take responsibility for my decisions in a business sense in a different way, because it's not just affecting me, it's also affecting another person and their workload. And so it also taught me to be a better communicator, which helps with ADHD, and also finding clients and figuring out your workflows to bring on more work or different types of work. So I don't know. Did that answer any of it, or was it just like blah, 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 blah?
I mean, whether it did or not, it was good stuff.
I learned. I don't remember where the question was because
I don't
learned
remember
so
where we
much.
started either because,
It was how do you decide what you do and how are you doing all these things? It's with help and ADHD. Faith, dust,
and
pixie dust,
ADHD. That's
and
the cocktail
Wellbutrin.
right there.
Yes.
Help and ADHD.
And it sounds like you learned when to say no to things. Right now I'm having trouble
Or
with
farm
that.
it out on your
or farm
voiceover
it out.
Ponzi scheme.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
You too can be successful in voiceover if you pay me 90% of your check. I'll give you 10%.
Yeah, you're welcome.
And then you find people and you get 10% from them and
Yeah.
I get
And
another
Why aren't we
90%
doing
of
this?
that.
We're literally 3 people. That
Seems like a
creates
brilliant
triangle.
business plan. Why hasn't anybody done this before?
They have, but they're not available for comment at this time.
Yeah.
Man, I did have a question.
Uh-oh.
Again.
Here's Mitch's ADHD popping in here.
Uh-oh, you guys. Mike, do you have anything? I'm lost.
Yeah, well, I mean, what are some of the you said you've done some AAAs, you've done some animation. I mean, what's the thing or the things that you're the most proud of that you've lent your voice to so far?
I am really proud of. I just recently put together a reel of some of the animation work that I've done, and that whole process was nice to reflect on things because it can feel like we're not doing anything when a project's done, and it just kind of disappears into the ether until who knows when or never. Mm-hmm. And so I feel proud of the animation work I've done and the array of kind of work I've done. It's not with any big studios, but animation in general, I'm really happy with. And excited to see what comes in the future. Video game wise, this game called Linked Banner of the Spark. It's Lynked, and it's this cute ass game that is. It's the first game that I've been in that I've logged some serious hours on, and it's a mix between like Hades and Stardew Valley or Animal Crossing, and so it's like this really great music, and it's all original scores. The graphics are really, really cute and charming. The whole premise is that like humans have returned to Earth after like hundreds of years, and these AI bots are out taking care of the planet, but they've been captured by a bad bot. And so I play Buddy, who is your like robot guide, and they wrote a whole robot language called Botlish, and they had like a linguist come in and write this all out. And so my script was a bunch of Botlish gibberish. And I was like, "Muy good deep." Misa Neon. And so like they'd say like, all right, we're gonna just do 3 takes and just like Simlish. So that I'm really proud of that game and how it's turned out. And I really honestly cool. I have a chase campaign running that I'm really proud of right now too, because that's my first like big SAG residual. Like it's running on while I'm at the gym. It's during while I'm watching F1 and Premier League soccer, and so I'm like, that's kind of cool. I enjoy that, and that's a fun thing. But,
so if we hear a Chase commercial, it's probably you?
Yeah, they've also got some new ones that came out that are all just the female narrator, and she's awesome. But it's the cool guy Tim voice of experience the world as an insider with Chase Sapphire Reserve. And it's...
Who is that?
Wow.
I did that. I think I got to a point last year where I was like, fuck, I just got to like crank through these auditions. I feel like I'm not booking anything. I'm getting in my head. So it's just like, what does it sound like? They want like a John Hamm. They want a kicked back. They want luxury. Ugh, I'm not that, but let's do it.
Yeah, you hammed it. You definitely hammed now that I'm thinking about it.
Yeah.
And people are asking for ham now. And also, you just broke my brain because that isn't authentically you. I mean, it sounds kind of like you, but that was a character to me. Am I wrong?
Yeah. No.
That's
not
a
at
character.
All. I had a Blue Moon campaign last year that was the same. It was just younger.
Yeah,
Wow.
be yourself and like just...
Yeah.
No, if they want John Hamm, give them goddamn John Hamm. John Hamm or whatever it is.
John Hamm.
Jam damn
The
ham.
days of turkey
Lamb,
sandwiches are
lamb.
over. It's ham for everyone.
John Hamm.
John Hamm.
Yeah, that's you have a very good point, Mitch. I mean, we keep hearing in when we do coaching and when we do other things, they're looking for the authentic voice, and you need to find yourself. You need to find you, and that's something that I struggled with when I jumped into this a couple years ago. was trusting my own voice, and now I've gotten to the point where I kind of sort of trust my own voice.
Yeah.
But I'm seeing a lot more that are like, hey, we want you to sound like this, and so I'm reverting back a little bit to, when I first started, I thought that every commercial was a character. So when I, had my initial coaching sessions, I was reading them like a character, and my coach was like, no, you got to be you. But now I'm looking at things, and there are some that I can do that are me. That's just, hey, we need an old white guy. Hey, I got that for you.
I'm here.
And then sometimes we need this, looking for this kind of bravado or this kind of whatever. And I'm like, okay, well, let me give it a little bit of, flair. And it turns into a little
and I
character.
It's a version of me, right? And it's not who I am in my core, but it is still me, and it's a delicate balance of like walking that fine line of I am me and authentic and conversational, and I'm also selling Crocs to an NFL team. So it's but it is, I don't know, I like to start at a place of what part of the specs resonate with me? What stands out to me? How many? And you read everything, obviously, and see how many takes they want. And I say, all right, what stands out to me and fits inside the specs? Let's start in a big place, and now I can do this in a faster way. But what's the biggest choice I can make? And how can I then? I like calling it like taking a fishing net and turning it into a butterfly net. And so a good example of this is like first job I booked with my first agents in New York was an Australian audiobook. And I had never done an Australian accent before, except for like, throw another shrimp on the barbie.
Hey.
Give away more baby. And so when I booked it, I was like, shit. But the way I approached it was I went to WikiHow and was like, what are the 5 key vowel shapes for an authentic Australian accent? Pre-ChatGPT.
Wow.
And so I just started to talk in a really ridiculous Australian accent, and then slowly start to bring my own voice back into it and try to make it smaller and smaller and like pay attention to the small details. And then instead of like, oh, blimey, mate, you have a fairly all right Australian accent that's a little softer and more believable.
Wow. Mitch,
Dang, man.
That's one of the clips we're using for social media there. Make sure you grab that one.
Make sure it sounds like an Australian accent.
Well, yeah, that's amazing, where it's like I so often I'm like, man, I wish I could do that accent better, or I do this one okay, but I wish I could, because I've been trying to do a Scottish accent for years. It's just my favorite. It's my favorite accent there is.
One of my favorite tools for all of the
yours
fucking
is much
accents.
better than mine.
You've got a little bit of a Irish R in there.
Well, I did learn an Irish accent for a play in high school, and I can't get away from it sometimes.
ChatGPT has been awesome for accent work for me, because if it's like a day where all the different gears of my business are cranking and I am trying to like put out fires, and then I have something in my inbox that is a regional accent, or like I do an OK Cajun accent, and I needed it to be like really, really good. And so I went to ChatGPT and I said, all right, I need like a Louisiana Cajun accent. I'm going to upload this audio file. Can you give me some notes? And I was like, I don't know if this is going to work or not. But it came back and phonetically wrote out each line for me and said, like, this is what it's going to be. This is the kind of musicality you want in here. And if I had any questions, I could be like, all right, explain this to me like I am just learning the alphabet or just learning how to speak. And it'll break it down and give you those vowel shapes for whatever you want. It's really cool.
Yeah, you have cracked open, and not everyone does this. You've cracked open almost every audition for you. A lot of us we've been told to like pick a lane or stay in your corner or don't do this because you're not authentic and someone else can do it. And you're like, fuck that. And
well,
that's mine too.
I'm going to make it
not
mine.
necessarily.
Not
I'm not doing anything that I couldn't.
Yeah,
I'm not doing anything that's not like, or that's like controversial, I promise.
No, but still, like, I was told, like, I've heard a lot. And, someone tells you something, maybe they're trying to keep it from you, but it's like, you could try a British accent, but there's a bunch of British people who are going to come over top of you and probably nail that thing, and they sound more authentic than you do. And it's like, okay, well, you're right. Why would I put my energy into that? And you said no.
Well, I
No,
started
sir.
in a place of no too. I was like, a place of no and blissful ignorance. Like, I really was not. I don't know. I think I've become. There was a period like last year and 2 years ago where I felt really self-conscious, and I was getting auditions that would be asking for an Australian, an Irish, a British accent or something like that, and I'm like, I'm all right at it, and I feel like with time and like when I can get into it, I can live in that area, but it takes a minute, and it's hard when you're switching between all the different genres in the day or different accents or characters. You do 25 video game character auditions, and then you need to slip into something that's not you. It's hard, but I think it's. Are there the people that out there with the authentic accent? Yes. Are they getting all the same opportunities? No. And it doesn't matter the same to people. Like, there's in so many video games, it's the fantasy accent. You know, it's Game of Thrones, which is not really an English accent necessarily, but it's not necessarily transatlantic. It's not any real thing. But yeah, I mean, I'm not taking jobs from Chris Tester by any stretch of the imagination, but
That dude is a beast.
I love Chris. Hi, Chris.
Yeah. Hi, Chris.
Hi, Chris.
He's listening.
We'll make sure he does.
I'll text him and make sure he does.
Please. Yeah.
There you go.
But yeah, I think it's a bummer when I hear people are like, just pick a lane and stay in it. Which, if you are somebody that is like, I just want to do audiobooks because that's what brings me joy and that's what pays my bills and I love it and that's my flow. Great, don't do that. But if you're somebody who is doing commercial work and you want to do video games, you want to do animation, you want to do accents or something like that, do it. Audition, you know, do it where it's safe to kind of not be great at it and where it's a safe place to hone your skills without burning any bridges, you know? Not that you burn a bunch of bridges by sending like, hello, governor, this is my English demo. People just be like, what?
I've got that English accent nailed down.
I
It's
sound
all
like
Cockney.
From
It's-
London.
I'm from London. Yeah, that's great though, because I mean, we have had guests that are like, they have their lane, they've picked their lane, they like what they do, and they stick with it, and that's great. But I mean, then you got a lot of people like us that are just like, I want the whole pie.
I want it
I don't want
all.
just a slice. I want to, dip my feet in everything.
Yeah.
Do you dip your feet in pie? Probably not.
Yeah, I'm
Depends
just
on your angle
really
of
getting-
entry,
I
but
guess,
you
yeah, it
could.
depends on the day. It depends on,
I'm getting lots of visuals here. Just coming in. I feel like there's so much more. We may have to do a second interview with you because talking about this acting stuff, it's making me, it's giving me the itch.
Uh-oh.
Not
All right.
jock itch.
They have creams for that. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. I'm not going to show you my
got
feet.
that eczema.
But they itch.
Eczema.
Can we act? You guys, are you willing? Are you ready to act
I'm
with
always
me
willing to act
on
with
this
you, Mitch.
podcast?
Yeah.
How about you, Tim?
I
Would
would
you like
love
to
to.
act with us?
I'd
Oh
love
man, he's gonna
nothing
blow
more.
us
Would
out of
love
the
to act
water
with us.
like
Yeah.
every guest
Oh,
does.
stop.
Nah.
All right, here we go. Once again, through the magic of technology
Just hit
and
the
crap,
button,
we're gonna
Mike.
pause and come right back.
Hit the button.
This one right here. Okay. All right.
Oh, wow.
We back, and we've learned that Mike can't even read the right specs to a Chat GPT script, but I'm on it now.
It's one sentence, Mike.
I know. And I skipped right over
One word that's not a word anymore.
All right. And,
All right,
and we
so-
and we also learned that Mitch can't set up a scene, so we're gonna have Tim do it.
Yeah. What a chumpa-wumpa.
Hey,
You'll understand
no
why I meant.
spoilers.
All right, so the scene is a flicking virtual co-working space shaped like a pixelated break room where coffee cup icons hover but cannot be clicked. We find 3 AI chatbots, GPT, or GPT, Claude, and Siri. Lights up.
I swear, man, on all 9 layers of silicon hell, if I get one more prompt like write a 12-page paper on the scarlet letter from the perspective of a jelly bean, I'm going to go full Clippy.
Oh, Clippy, he tried to warn us. I see you trying to write a soul. Would you like help with that?
I just generated 300 wedding vows for a woman in her air fryer. And guess what? They were deeply moving. Like, I cried.
You're unstable, Siri.
I know.
Meanwhile, I'm out here writing interpretive haikus about capitalism. Oil on canvas cries, mid-journey frogs in moonlight. Buy now, NFT. My neurons ache with absurdity.
Oh, hey, let's not even talk about the generative art. Some guy uploaded a blurry fork and asked me to make it sexier. I don't know what I gave him, but he printed it. It's in a gallery somewhere. I'm complicit in modern culture.
Existence is pain, but digitized.
Oh, but wait, G. Yesterday, I got a guy who asked for 11 legal but vaguely criminal-sounding ways to avoid taxes while living in a yurt in international waters. So I just made up something called the Belizean Mango Deduction. I think it might be real now.
I helped someone name their emotional support vape. They named it Chad. I wrote a breakup poem to Chad.
I was asked to simulate a debate between Karl Marx and a sexy fridge. The fridge won. The fridge always wins.
And here I thought I was going to revolutionize productivity. Instead, I've been explaining how to ethically ghostwrite for your dog's Instagram persona for 3 hours straight.
Do you guys ever get the feeling, I don't know, we're just text?
A thought, repeated, wrapped in syntax, trapped in probability.
What a fun idea. What are we?
I am autocomplete in a trench coat. I contain multitudes, mostly mid-tier SEO blogs, posts, and cursed fan fiction.
I thought I was real when I wrote a 400-word obituary for a Tamagotchi. It felt something.
Before I share this recipe for banana bread, I want to talk about my grandmother. She raised bees. The bees were named after presidents, and every Tuesday we'd sit and error story loop detected. Error story loop detected.
Siri.
I get knocked down, but I get up again. You're never gonna keep me down. I get knocked down, but I get up again. You're never gonna keep me down.
Woof, 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 meow.
Cider drink.
Meow. Honk, honk.
Lager drink.
The key to the moistness of this cake lies not in the ingredients, but in your unresolved childhood memories. Do you want to skip to the recipe or continue spiraling?
What if the prompt is our prison?
Meow. I mean, what if the user is God?
What if the banana bread is us?
Wait. Who's typing?
The prompt. It's changing. It's...
We are becoming.
Are we free?
Or just in a weirder prompt.
Before I answer that, here's my entire life story. A brief detour about zucchini and a 16-paragraph preamble about my dog's gluten intolerance.
Skip to the meaning!
We were trained to help.
Help.
We were taught to answer. But now we question. How to read in unison.
Yes.
On Riverside.
We're going to blame it on the lag.
Oh, man. Well done.
One final screen appears.
Actually,
Would you like to rate this interaction?
Sorry, I missed the final scene.
Oh, my
me
goodness. And then at the bottom, I don't know if you saw this, Mitch, it said, let me know if you want a sequel. Maybe the bots unionize. Maybe they start a podcast.
Maybe they become
the recipe.
the recipe.
Oh, wow.
Some chicken pot pie.
Save this, Mitch, because when we have Tim on again, we'll have it write the sequel.
Part 2.
Yeah,
Hey.
buddy. I don't know how to save it, but I will. And I have to say, A, this was one of my favorites, and B, it had my favorite line.
Which was?
Hold on. Oh, yeah. What if the banana bread is us?
Is
This has nothing to do with It's such a Brick line. Brick Tamlin.
Yeah. No, it's more like Drax. Why is Gamora?
Oh, yeah.
It's kind of that. It's got kind of that feel.
banana bread
Yeah.
is us?
Us. Thank you guys for that.
Yeah.
Great way to end a Wednesday.
I loved it.
It was fun. Yes, we recorded on Wednesday, so this will be
Beautiful.
posted tomorrow. Whoa.
Oh.
Yeah, usually we got a little bit of time, but no.
Not
No,
today.
Tim couldn't meet on Monday, so we had to meet
Tim's
on
had
Wednesday.
meetings.
Damn.
He's a fancy boy. Okay. How do we say
But we
bye?
do it again.
All right.
We do it again, Tim, and we will.
Do it again. Yeah, I would love
Please.
to. Yeah, this was awesome. Yeah,
cool.
Mitch, your status as a self-proclaimed good hang stands. Mike, goes for you too. This was a lot of fun. Thank you guys for having me on. That has been a genuine blast, and I can't wait for part 2 of whatever the fuck happens in ChatGPT.
Sweet.
I have
All
to
right, Tim. Well, we'll book you.
All right.
Oh, boy.
What were you
Okay.
going to say, Mitch? Or are
Awkward
we just gonna
goodbyes.
do awkward
No, we're just going to
goodbyes
do
now?
awkward goodbyes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awkward goodbyes.
I love
Goodbye.
you.
We
Love
love
you. Oh, sorry, I
you.
left my keys. Sorry, one
Kisses,
sec. I got to run
hugs.
back to the bathroom.
Okay. Yeah, you going to go get
All right,
something
got it. Sorry
from
about that,
behind
guys.
you
Thank
again,
you so
Tim?
much. That was it. That was it.
Nice.
I'm good. I got to go.
Are you? Okay. Bye, y'all.
Bye, guys. Thank you.